All right. Since we're talking about this parking lot thing in California, figured I'd throw this in there. Years ago, this was back like 2006, 2007, somewhere around in there, right? I was homeless, right? But I had a truck. I had a little truck. I had a little Nissan, the King Cab pickup, and I was with this lady friend of mine named Tel, right? And we traveled, all over, Arizona, living out of my truck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because she had a high set skill set of secretarial and you know those kind of skills. Office assistant, executive assistant, right? I mean, at one time in Yuma, she worked for a television station, right? But we could never really get a grasp on the finances of the whole thing, right? And plus dealing with right, mixed personalities, right, living in a close confined space, right. It really didn't, we tended to move around a lot, back and forth, and so we would go back, right. I mean, like, and her family and my family were both in Winslow. This is when we still had families. Right? And so we would go back, when we burned something out, saying or something wasn't working for us in Yuma, say we drive back to Winslow and hang out in Winslow for a while until we ran out of money, and then we'd go find something else, saying in Phoenix, saying, or go to Flagstaff, which one either one of us would get a job, saying. Then like I worked in Maricopa at this restaurant for a while, right, for almost a year, and we were renting a room from a mutual friend of ours, right, that had a trailer, until that lady, wigged out, right, and went ballistic, and we ended up, outside again, right. But that time we had a little bit of money saved up, right, and we rolled it into Phoenix, right, and we got us a little place for a few months, right. But the whole point of it was that having a vehicle made it a little bit easier, right, to move around and to get to job interviews, to get to work when you had a job, to get to the doctor's appointments, and saying to go to the stores and and stuff like that. It made it inconvenient when you had to find a spot, right? I mean, like in a big city like this, yeah, there's a lot of places, a lot of parking lots, a lot of dark side streets, you know what I'm saying? There's always Walmart, you know what I'm saying? But, that's that, after a couple of nights at Walmart, the security guy knows, recognizes you and runs you off, right? And dark side streets are not always good because there's people that are, you know, trolling the dark side streets looking to get you. What's up? What's up, Justin?
Hey buddy, how are you?
Your phone's over there somewhere in the plugs. I got it? All right. And sometimes that's not a good idea, right? Right. There's always like the truck stop. You can go back up in between a couple of the big semis, but then you're dealing with a whole different you know abstract right there. Saying anything is possible to happen there because there's all kinds of lot lizards and truck pimps and everybody else. Saying trying to make their little way in the world, right? So finding a good solid spot was part of the difficulty in being vehicle homeless, right? And on top of all of that, you had to keep registration current, you had to buy gas, you had to pay insurance. Saying you're constantly feeding the machine, right, while you're trying to stabilize yourself, right. Now if you get a halfway decent job, and then in a few weeks, a month or so, you can save up enough money where you can get a place, right, then you're ahead of the game by half, right. But in a lot of cases, you spend all of your time working, right, and then when you're off work, you don't want to really do anything because you're tired, you're burned out, you're hungry. You're saying you got to spend the next 2 or 3 hours looking for a spot where you can camp, where you're safe, and saying that's close enough to work where you're not burning up all of your gas and this and that, whatever. And then if you're with someone else, right? Then you're dealing with all of their daily issues and problems that they went through, you know what I'm saying, that while you weren't there, you know, and it complicates the whole thing, and it's just, you know, I mean, it's an extremely difficult proposition to live in your car with you know, two people, but no. You know, I dealt with it, and believe me, it sucked. You know what I'm saying? And right, and in the end, I ended up losing my job, losing my truck, losing the girl that I was living with, losing. I mean, the right, the whole thing just went belly up, and that was that. And I ended up back in prison again. You know what I'm saying? See, so the you know, there's the trials and the tribulations in the road that you travel through, right, in all the different various forms of homelessness, right? You know what I'm saying? Is all it there is no guaranteed, you know, formula that's gonna work, right, to get you up out of it. You have to, you know, apply. I mean, this is what, so I keep saying, I mean, you have to apply yourself, you have to work hard, you have to struggle, right? I mean, and once you get to that point where all of that stuff goes away, because now you're solid, you know, saying now you know, right, you have a sure footing, right? Now, you know, you've been at your job long enough where you don't have to worry about too much, you know what I'm saying? You got a little bit of money saved up. Then, you know what I'm saying, you can, you know, maybe start thinking about not having to worry about, you know, falling back into the trap. It's me, Brian. Struggling through it, bro. Struggling through it. Thank you.